Nigga really made a video about why 9/11 wasn't that bad. That's crazy. I can't believe I wrote this idea. I don't know how I'm gonna do this video. The first thing I wrote down for it, it was so bad. All right, power through it. All right, if Michael Shea can do this, we can do it.
That's why this September I'm getting a T-shirt that says "All buildings matter."
All right, guys. Whew, okay. Okay, I'm gonna just come out and say it. What's going on, guys? My name's Cliff, and this is Unpack That Bull. Unpack That Bull, the show where we take a deep dive into pop culture. On this episode of Unpack That Bull, I'm going to take a deep dive into why 9/11 was not that bad. Okay, so when I say that, what I mean is, call me s'mores, because I'm about to get roasted. All right, 9/11 was an awful tragedy. But 9/11 was not the worst thing to happen to this country. And that's my argument right here today. It's not that 9/11 was not culturally significant, because it was. But what I'm saying is 9/11, it wasn't that bad. It was just a little 9/11. It wasn't that bad. We didn't do we didn't do a 9/11. We did. No, we did. In this universe we did. But 9/11 was awful. It was really bad. No one can argue that, right? But when we look around the world, awful things happen all the time. So if this thing happened, that was really awful. And then something over here happened, that's really awful. You can't really compare which one was more awful. Except you can, all right? With death tolls, destruction, significance. So, in the grand scheme of a lot of events that have occurred throughout history, from that aspect alone, 9/11 wasn't that bad. I mean, the fucking extinction took out all the dinosaurs. That's like 20 9/11s at least. Okay, 3,000 people died in the 9/11 terror attacks, and that is awful. You know what else is awful? Is that 7,000 Americans have been killed from 2001 to 2018 in the Middle East because of 9/11. That's also awful. 407,000 Americans died during World War II. So surely that tragedy is worse than 9/11. But that's not on American soil, so I understand that. Well, 4,200 Americans died at Pearl Harbor, and yet we treat 9/11 with more significance than Pearl Harbor. And that was on American soil, and that was an attack by a foreign entity. 620,000 Americans died during the Civil War, and that was brother against brother. But yet 9/11 holds more significant importance than the date in 1865 when the civil. Okay, well that's that's a whole nother thing. So 9/11 was bad and it was awful, but it was not the worst thing that happened to Americans. 9/11 isn't that bad. That's an unpopular opinion. That's as unpopular of an opinion as you can get. I mean, no disrespect, no ill will. We just put these videos out for fun. If you don't like it, just let me know, and then I'm gonna tell you. We won't do videos like this again, but if too many people enjoy it, we gotta work off democracy. All right, that is what this country is built off. We can agree on that, right? So for the American people, it was an awful tragedy. But for America, the country, America the great, the country that has committed great travesties everywhere. And I know you're just trying to mimic your European brothers. You're trying to be like the big boys, but no one asked all of white Western civilization to colonize the world. All right, the fuck Lex Luthor. No one said do that. Why would you? See, that's why we end this right now. Our country has committed some awful atrocities against African Americans. It has injected stuff into its citizens for brainwashing or mind control. Our country genocided an entire group of people. So, America, the country, I mean, It's almost like 9/11 was coming. It's almost like you had too many hands in the pot, and then you trained the wrong person, and that person came back to bite you in the end. That's all I'm saying is that you can't have your hand over here, and then when you come out your hand dirty, and then you touch your face and you get sick. That's kind of your fault. That's not your immune system's fault, because we're the immune system in this analogy, but that person, that's your fault. Give me 1 second. Yo. We have a little bit of a problem. What's up?
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Okay, so let's talk about why 9/11 is so significant, because this video would not be fair if I didn't examine that point of view. It was the first time that people in our generation have felt an attack on the home soil. Let's be honest. 1942, 41, 42, it was a long time ago. And a lot of people that were alive then, that were children then, are very old now. They were very old in 2001. So we hadn't been attacked in 60 years. And that's very foreign to a little bit the Western world, but also a lot of the United States. And Canada hasn't really been attacked either, so y'all niggas better watch out. But this was the age of the internet and of TV and newscasting of these live events unfolding and people dying on TV, and the second plane literally hit on TV. And it makes sense because everyone has their 9/11 story. Like, where were you on 9/11? And you cannot deny the cultural impact for Americans of 9/11. And even for the rest of the world stopped and aided the Americans. Canada was especially grateful of, and it's just it was a nice moment in the world where it was like, all right, we'll help you out. A lot of Americans are like, oh, we helped you guys out, so come help us out. But that's not even the case. It was just compassion from the rest of the world on such an awful atrocity. Pat Tillman went and joined the army after 9/11. He was playing football, pretty good at it, getting paid for it. He leaves and goes and joins the army. But Pat Tillman eventually felt that what they were doing over there was wrong, and that they were actually committing acts of treason and war crimes. And Pat Tillman completely flips how he feels about the United States and the government and the army, and he's killed in the friendly fire. His brother's in the same unit as him, which is not even supposed to be allowed, and they don't even tell his mother how he dies. Says that he dies in combat or whatever, but he actually, and the soldiers in his unit burned his stuff, and the government hid it. So what are we supposed to think about that situation? The government's done some fucked up things in the name of being patriotic. The entirety of flying is now way more complicated now, and it makes sense, but it's also very useless. Like, come on now, like, Hannibal Buress has a great bit about that.
Because a terrorist tried a liquid bomb thing, now nobody can bring liquids on a plane. One person messed it up for everybody. But I feel like that's being reactive instead of proactive, because terrorists are always trying new stuff. So next time it's gonna be some type of Snickers bomb. And after that happens, you can't bring full-size Snickers on a plane anymore. You can only bring miniature Snickers because one person messed it up for everybody. Now you have security trying to negotiate your Snickers situation. Hey, is it all right if I bring 4 miniature Snickers? That's about the same size as a full-size Snickers security system. Don't play with me, this is not a game! We are saving the world one Snickers bar at a time for your freedom in America! Relax, man, I'm just hungry, stop yelling at me.
And we also got Big Brother, so now they're spying on us because they have to. And we don't find out about it until like 2008 or 7, or whenever Eric Snowden really, it's mind-boggling. So yeah, 9/11 was bad, but the United States used that atrocity to do something, to do worse things. It's crazy. We lost under 10,000 lives during 9/11, and 3,000 is a very impactful number, and every one of those lives is significant, and it's a shame that they are lost. I mean, not the terrorists, obviously, but 9/11 wasn't that bad. That's the whole point of this unpopular opinion. I'm ready. Flame me. And then we see Drogon blasting through the city.
In the chair.
And I Shrek was pretty. I maybe wash the shit off my hands, and then we peel it off. I've heard of buoyancy related to like boats, and like, for example, how little compromise with evil is okay as long as it all works out in the end, right? But he had it with the shield. He said,
That shit-
everyone
Yo,
was flaming
like,
him too.
Fuck that, dude.
Everyone
Like,
was flaming.
We racing the roof.
Like, do something if it means everything or whatever the fuck it said. I guess.
I never wanted you to